Alright guys, so here's the review of the OLTO-8 Infinity I. So this is a pretty unique watch, and if you've been following the channel for a while, you know I like to try out some unique and interesting Microbrand watches, and this one is no exception. So if you want to check out some of those other ones I've reviewed before, I'll leave links up here to some of those, but let's get down to this one. So if you're wondering what this is on top, this is the second strap it comes with, because it actually comes with two straps. And this is the one I've actually been wearing on most, but we'll get into that as we get into the review. So this is the box it comes in, got the OLTO-8 brand in there at the bottom, and we've got this little message here, to the best time. A little bit weird, but it is what it is. So let's open it up and show you what you get inside. So we've got this nice padded bit on top to protect the watch, then we've got a couple of little bits and pieces on top of that, starting with the warranty card and the user manual that you can actually get using this QR code. So we get a 2-year warranty on this. So pop that to one side, quickly go over the other bits. We've got the international warranty card, which isn't dated or anything because this is a review piece. And then we've got another little user manual. So this is the other strap that actually came in the box with the watch. I haven't actually worn it on this because I'm not really a fan of faux croc, which is what this is. But as I said, this is the one I've been wearing the watch on. I just think it suits it far better. So quickly get it out and show you. So this is another leather strap, but it's more of a plain kind of look. Kind of vintage style almost. Really soft, really supple. And we've also got quick release as well, which is always nice. So as I say, I definitely think this suits the watch better than that other faux croc. We've got the signed buckle there as well. So the only other thing we've got in the box now is the head of the watch. Quickly show you before we put it all together and we get into the review properly. So as you can see, it's a pretty unique looking watch, which is what OLTO-8 tend to specialise in. But let's get all this out of the way and get down to it properly. So here it is, and let's address the elephant in the room straight away. And that's, how do you actually tell the time on this? It's not as daunting as you'd first expect, so I'll quickly show you now. So I'm going to zoom in. So we've got 3 different sections to this. So this inner section here, that's the seconds, and you can see the hand just ticking around there along with the inner dial section. Then we've got the hours on this one just above that, and then the minutes just above that. So we have the hour hand here, this little triangle, and then the small stick hand here is for the minutes. So the time is now 7 minutes past 5. So fairly simple. Yeah, it can get a little bit awkward if it's not an exact time, because as you can see, it is a fairly small section that you're looking at, but you get a rough idea. It's between like 5 past, 10 past if you can't get it spot on. So it's not too bad. It's still quite usable. But let's go over the dimensions now. So we've got a diameter of 46mm, but don't click off just yet, because we have got a pretty compact lug to lug, which does help combat that. So the lug to lug is 40.5, because we've actually got the lugs integrated underneath the case. So it's actually smaller than that diameter, which does help it conform to wrist nicely, which I'll show you in a bit. When it comes to the thickness, we've got a pretty chunky watch here, coming in at 14.7, which is actually bigger than the listing suggests, but it is a pretty unique looking case, and as I say, it does wear better than these dimensions will suggest, so stick around to see what it's like on wrist. When it comes to the lug width, that's 22mm. And then when it comes to the weight, on this leather strap it's about 107 grams. So some pretty interesting dimensions for what is an interesting watch. But as I say, it does wear better than they would suggest. So do stick around to see what it's like before you make a final decision and judgment on this one. If you do like the style of this watch but you're not keen on this colour, don't worry, they do plenty of other different colour options as well as different case finishes as well. So you can get the stainless steel like this one, or they do like black PVD coated ones and even a bronze one. So plenty of options, plenty of different permutations, different strap options as well. So you should be able to find something you do like if you are keen on this style. So now let's take a closer look at the rest of the watch. So let's start with the side profile, because it is pretty interesting as you've seen already briefly. So I do like these 3 high polished sections in the centre, just breaking up the case a little bit, because it is fairly chunky, but again, it also just tapers at the bottom as well, which again helps with it wearing better on wrist, and just makes it feel a bit smaller than it actually is. When it comes to the strap, I've already talked about that briefly. We've got that side buckle there, and the quick release. When it comes to the case back, quickly show you that now, because again, this is pretty nice too. You can see we've got a custom rotor there, with the OLTO-8 logo, and with it being slightly skeletonized as well, just adds a little bit more interest compared to the standard rotor that would have been on there. So I do appreciate that. And apparently this is a customized Miyota 8215 in here, because obviously they've had to change it to get it to work with this unusual dial layout. When it comes to the specs around the outside on this one, we've got the sapphire apparently, 50 meter water resistance, OLTO-8 brand in there, the fact that it's an automatic watch, and then the model number at the bottom, Infinity. And we've also got screws as opposed to actual screw down case back, which is kind of understandable with this kind of style of watch. It's not going to be going diving or anything. But now let's test if it is actually sapphire, using the trusty diamond selector 2. And yep, we have got sapphire crystal, which is always good. Now let's quickly flick it over and check if we've got it on the back as well. And no, we've just got mineral crystal on the back, which is a little bit disappointing, but not a big deal, I guess, because you're not really going to be needing it all often. It's going to be on your wrist, so it's not that important. So now let's take another quick look at that dial again, but let's look at that bottom section and see what's going on there. So we've got the OLTO-8 brand in there, automatic, and then the logo just above that. But if we turn it on an angle slightly, you can see we've actually got a little bit of depth going on with this. So there's a few different layers there on that bottom section of the dial, as well on the top. So they're making the most of that thickness there. It's not a completely flat dial. A few different layers, different sections, different bits and pieces, just adding a bit of interest. And we've also got that nice distortion from that crystal as well. Again, adding some interest. And as you know, I'm a sucker for a dome crystal and a nice bit of distortion. Definitely my kind of thing, but I know it's not for everyone. Now, let's show you this movement in action. So, we've just got a push-pull crown. We have actually got a ghost date position, because it's the Miyota 8215. So, pop it out again. And then we can just change the time. You can see that minute hand going round, and the hour hand moving as well. So pop it back in, and then we've got hand winding. All working well, no problems there. So now, let's check out what the loom's like on this. Yeah, it does actually have some loom, which is a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting it myself either. So, here we go. So you can see we've got a little bit there already, but let's charge it up, give it a proper chance. And as I said, this is a pretty surprising watch when it comes to the loom, as you can see. So I didn't initially know it actually had loom on the numbers. I thought it was just on the hands. So that was a really pleasant surprise, as I wasn't expecting to be able to use this at night at all, really. So, as I say, really nice bonus, pleasantly surprised. So you can see we've got a mixture of loom here. So we've got something that looks similar to BGW9 on the numbers. Not entirely sure if it is, because it doesn't say on the listing what the loom is. And then when it comes to the hands, we've got something that looks like C3. And we've even got it on that second hand as well, which is a nice touch. Not always the way, so I do appreciate that they've done that. That being said, there isn't a great deal of surface area to add loom on there. Well, on any of it really. So it isn't the best when it comes to longevity, but again, the way I see it with this kind of style of watch, any loom at all is a bonus. So you see, the loom on the numbers is fading fairly quickly now. The loom on the hands lasted a little bit longer, so it is somewhat usable, but because of the style of watch and the way the dial's laid out, unless you get used to where all the numbers are, it's not all that easy to figure out what it is once those numbers fade. So, something to be aware of. So you're probably wondering, how much is this going to cost you? So the original price is $550, which is about £442, which is about €508. Yeah, it's still on the pricey side, considering that you're only getting a Miyota 8215 in it, albeit a customised one. But again, it's a pretty unique watch. I've not seen anything like this before. If anyone else has, please do let me know down in the comments. I would be interested to know. So, as I say, you're getting a unique watch. You're getting sapphire, well, domed sapphire crystal. You're getting 2 straps, unique design, customised movement. Okay lume, not the best, but again, for this style of watch, I don't think it's too bad. But the question is, do you think this is value for money? And are you interested in picking one up? Before you make that final decision though, I'm going to show you what it's like on wrist. So here's what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist. And as I said, I think it wears pretty well on my wrist. And it doesn't wear as big as I was expecting at all, in terms of the diameter and also the thickness. It kind of sits down into your wrist with that shape kind of tapering towards the bottom. And obviously with those lugs being integrated underneath, that brings down the lug to lug considerably too. And I do really like this strap. As I say, I haven't even bothered with the other one because I just think this one suits the watch so well. And I just think it looks a lot better as well. But let me know what you think. Do you think the strap suits the watch? Do you like the watch overall? It's definitely a conversation starter, this one. Something pretty unique, distinctive looking. It's got like an almost retro kind of look to it, but modern as well, if that makes sense. And again, if you're interested in picking one up, there's plenty of different colour options, different case finishes. So if you are liking this style, this design, you should be able to find one you like. Just don't forget to use that discount if you do pick one up though, because I do think it is a little on the pricey side despite being a pretty unique watch. But I guess it depends whether you're willing to pay that for something different. But that's it for this one, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this, something a little bit different. Don't worry, I'm going to be doing some more budget ones next. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.